Welcome to the I Know Nothing podcast, where you will learn nothing. Today we have on Matt Mariano. He's a local baseball player, went to school at Shen. He's now at UAlbany. Before he gives his elevator pitch and who he is, I just want to let everyone know that this is the first time we're doing it at 8 o'clock in the morning. So we've got different traffic patterns. We've already had sirens going by, so apologize for any extra noise. Maddie, I know who you are. Can you please tell everyone who you are, your elevator pitch, and why someone should listen to you?
Yeah, my name is Matthew Mariano. Went to Shen, grew up in Clifton Park. Play baseball at UAlbany now. I'm going to be a senior. You should listen to me. I mean, I have experience. Played multiple sports. And I'm someone that if you ask questions, I'll be glad to answer.
Yeah, I like that because everybody on here, people should be reaching out. So you might get some people reaching out to you. Let's go right into what you said about the multiple sports because we just met this year. So I'm still learning about Matt. So I don't really know about your past as an athlete. Take us through just growing up, all the sports you played, everything. Take us before high school. Take us all through that.
Yeah, before high school, elementary school, played soccer, baseball. It was busy days.
Yeah.
I remember I'd have to play a baseball game, eat a quick lunch, go to soccer. Played basketball when I got to fifth grade. I always tried to play, multi-sports. That was one thing my parents thought was important, and I enjoyed it. I always wanted to, be a multi-sport athlete. Middle school, I'd say, is when I started taking, baseball seriously.
Okay.
I figured out that was, my favorite sport.
Right.
While playing basketball, soccer I stopped, but basketball.
Okay.
And baseball were my main sports. I kind of took off with baseball right around the middle school.
So when did you basically just only play baseball? What year was that?
That was my junior year. So I played basketball, baseball all the way up until high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, competitively. Yeah,
okay.
I played basketball competitively.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
we're still waiting for our basketball hoop here. We haven't had a basketball all summer.
I heard Ty was going to bring it in. That's what I heard.
It's only been a couple months. So, okay, there's been a common theme on here where there's a huge debate in sports now of when should you specialize? Should you specialize? You're just another example of you didn't start specializing until your junior year. Okay. Junior year, you're at Shen. For those who aren't from the area, Shen is a top baseball program in the state. Every year they have a chance to go win a state championship. Give us the specializing part, why you specialize, what your seasons look like, what your travel programs look like, and then we'll get into your recruiting process.
Yeah. High school baseball was the first point in my baseball career where I was wow, there's talent everywhere.
Yeah.
There's talent everywhere. We had a great team. And it was a busy day for, as a high schooler, I didn't, really know that, the schedule, class and baseball. But, when I got to playing high school ball, it really came to light.
Yeah.
You got to put a lot of time in. But so that was around 10th grade. Busy days, practice. And then, travel ball going into the summer. You wouldn't get too much of a rest. You go to the spring schedule and go right in. Travel ball was busy. I always enjoyed travel ball. It's a little different than high school. But that's something I always enjoyed playing.
What travel program did you play for?
So I played for two. I played for the local the Clifton Park Gators.
Okay.
So that was the Shen coaches
and
a few of my teammates. And then I transitioned to the Hayner Barnstormers.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I played with Norman Ken.
Sweet.
Yeah.
My parents grew up with Norman Ken. I think he told you this before.
They're great. They're great guys.
They grew up with them. So they still stay in touch with them. Great humans.
Mm-hmm.
Great baseball minds.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so I kind of want to hear about, I guess we'll take it to your junior and senior year, whenever you were on these teams, the Gators and the Hayner Barnstormers, where give us the full year from fall season to what you do in the winter, obviously the spring high school season, then summer. What did that look like?
All right, yeah. So fall, Shen baseball, they did a fall baseball camp.
Okay.
So I did that all 3 years of high school. That was partially the reason why I didn't play a fall sport. I made the decision. Baseball was my sport, so I wanted to do that fall camp. That was every day, 5 days a week, right after school. Um,
But this
that
is for
was
the whole fall. It's
yeah,
not like 1 week; it's the whole
no,
thing.
yeah, it's the whole fall.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
that was good. We do our infield hitting drills,
Yeah.
pitching. They did everything. They make it fun. We did a little like circuit.
Yeah.
You'd have a team, did some workouts,
Oh, okay.
circuit. It
Cool.
was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. Um, Winter, I doubled, so I played basketball. Continued to play
Right.
basketball, and then again they had a winter camp. So
Okay.
they had the hitting and pitching camp
Gotcha.
that I did. Um, that was good. That was at Hanners.
Okay.
Did that at Hanners. Um, that was like 3 times a week. Um, and then spring, yeah, we start in March with tryouts, go right into it, play the school season, and then go right into summer. So I was
Okay. So you actually didn't have an off period.
not really, not really. I mean, I'd stay, you know, smart with my arm, of course, but yeah,
Well,
like off
yeah.
period, yeah,
Okay.
not
And I
really.
think, I mean, how old are you?
21.
Okay. So I think you're probably right when things have already transitioned from what I grew up in, right? So these things didn't exist. There was no year-round baseball, anything. It just wasn't a thing. And we're gonna get into like why that is happening. I still don't understand why because Shen is different. For those who don't know about Shen, there's just so many kids that it is very competitive to even play on a team, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Let alone start on a team and be someone who's actually like being part of something for multiple years in a good program. But we have kids specializing at 7 years old and doing this from 7 years old on. You were still playing other sports. You still played basketball, so you're getting something different. And
Yep.
from what you said, you still gave your arm a rest. It's a huge issue right now, though, and it's interesting for everybody's had a different take on what they did as a high school athlete, and the arm thing is why I'm asking. I want to know why some programs, not your program, there's no rest, right? There's no rest at all where they're not even checking him. You're just throwing all year round,
All
right?
year
And as a
round.
pitcher, obviously you know this now as a college athlete, like that can't happen. Um, okay, let's go through the recruiting process because I know nothing about it. Take us through that. When did it start, and how'd you get to Albany?
Started sophomore summer going into junior year.
Oh wow,
Okay.
okay,
So yeah, so it was uh it was busy. I'm not gonna lie, it was nerve wracking.
yeah, yeah.
Especially with all the phone calls. I'd say my phone skills weren't the best then, so it was a little nerve wracking. Um, but yeah, I did do camps at schools that I was interested in. I think that's the best way. If you're interested in a school, try to go to a camp. Most have them. That's one way to get your name out
Yeah.
there, be seen, and introduce yourself in person to a coach. Give him a handshake, tell him your name. Because first impression is important. Yeah, I was playing ball, pitching. So I had some coaches come to games. Yeah, a lot of phone calls.
Where did those looks come from? Was it from high school or from the travel?
From high school, some came to watch
Okay.
me playing travel ball. I did do some of those like PBR
Okay, that was my next question.
events.
Okay, so you did some of that because I feel like right now, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it's very difficult to get looks in upstate New York at the high school level. That's why I'm thinking. That's why obviously PBR is super helpful, but that's why a lot of people are going on these showcase teams because
Right.
for some of them it's their only look, right? It's
Yeah.
easy. It's not easy, but as a pitcher, you touch 90, someone's gonna go look,
Mm-hmm.
but someone who's just a position player that doesn't have outstanding statistics, there's a college for everybody, right? Whether that's a
Absolutely.
junior college all the way up to the highest D1.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you can touch on that where like how did they get to come see you in high school?
It is a lot of connections. I'd say my high school coach
Right.
was in contact with a lot of guys. He was a big
Yeah.
name in the baseball world, so he did help me out.
I want to just touch on that real quick. I feel like high school coaches who are listening to this, take that and like understand you are part of the process. And right now, honestly, with baseball, if you're playing high school varsity baseball, 90% want to go play at the next level.
Absolutely.
High school coaches help your guys get looks because it's not easy. I mean, I can only speak personally, but for me, I wouldn't be playing. I would have never played college baseball right now. In today's world, nobody would have ever given me a look because I was not a showcase player. And there's a lot of people like that out there where you have to help them out. Like, you need a connection. You need to have college coaches and say, hey, I got this kid, Matt Mariano. He's a really good pitcher, right? So it is helpful. That's all. Continue going.
So like I said, they came to watch me play. Cool. And then, the phone calls started coming in.
Yeah.
I'd get a number. I have no idea who it was. So I had to start, picking up every number no matter what it was. But, they're just, trying to give you a phone call to see, what kind of person you're like, ask you questions. They want to pick your mind a little bit.
Right.
They want to know what you want in a school. They want to know, what type of, player you are. And they want to know what you want in a school. They want to ask, what you're interested in, what field that you possibly are thinking about going into.
What year was this?
This was 21.
What year? Like, how old were you?
Oh, I was 17.
So this is your junior, senior year?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's just something for people to know.
Yeah.
Did you have life figured out when you were 17 years old?
So absolutely not.
But my point is this: they are asking these questions, right?
Yeah.
I coached in college, so I understand how it works. And asking a 17-year-old kid, "Oh, hey, what type of player are you?" I don't know if many kids have that answer. Asking them what they want to study, who knows that answer? Did you know your answer?
I didn't know my answer.
I still don't know my answer. Okay, I don't.
Yeah.
And so the problem, not the problem, the reality of today's world is you have to become almost more of an adult and an advocate of yourself in the high school level. And I think coaches, a lot of old school coaches, I come from an old school family of baseball players. I played under old school coaches in college. And I think that we have to all meet in the middle, because for me, I'm a ground and pound grinder, and I play baseball a different way than baseball is, for the most part nowadays. And my point is, unfortunately, everybody out there, if you're a athlete, doesn't matter if it's baseball or not, like, you have to start to learn these things. You need to start asking yourself questions. You need to start reaching out, like you said in the beginning, to the Matts of the world and ask them, like, how did you figure out what type of player were you? What does it look like when you said, what are you looking for in a college? How does a 17-year-old kid know? They've never been to a college, right? Yeah. I had no idea. If it wasn't for my mom, I would have never even been at SUNY Cortland. She was like, you should go here. And I walked on the campus with no expectations. So it's just an interesting point. It's a good point, but you're asking a kid, right? Think about the high school kids you see in here. They don't even know what day it is, let alone what college they want to go to. So it is a good point, because it's an educational point that, yes, you were getting phone calls as a sophomore, a junior, and a senior, and you're still a kid.
Yeah. Like you said, reaching out. More often than not, if you reach out, you're going to get a response.
Yeah.
I've given, some advice to, even my cousin. Yeah. My cousin asked me, I'd love to give him advice. I did. But more often than not, we do want to try to help you guys out. In any sport, I play baseball, reach out to, someone, if you're a soccer player, reach out to a soccer player. And it doesn't matter what level. That's one thing. Level, JUCO, D3, D2, D1. It's all competitive. It doesn't matter where you go. Don't feel, oh, I didn't make, the level that I wanted. It doesn't matter. There's so many opportunities out there, and, you just have to go in at it with an open mind,
Yeah. And I think, as much as some parts of the transfer portal are really beneficial, some parts I disagree with, where I think we're seeing people just bounce around all over because, oh, I don't like this school. I didn't get my NIL deal. But the positive part is you could go to a junior college and then level up and then go to a D1. You know what I mean? You can go to a D3.
Plenty of times.
So it does give more room for opportunity. Let's talk about the injury, because I don't really know much about your injury past. Would you mind just sharing, when it happened, how it happened, and we'll go through it.
Yeah. So I did get Tommy John in 2020.
Okay.
August of 2020. I hurt it my junior year. I was having some elbow issues. It wasn't really going away. It was bothering me, a lot. It was difficult for me to throw. Went to go see a doctor. So the first step, I don't know if you've heard PRP injections.
Yeah.
So I did that. I tried that. It worked for a little bit.
Okay.
For a little bit, it worked. I was able to get back on the mound. Unfortunately, it didn't last.
Yeah.
So that's when I got my surgery in August of 2020. So I was rehabbing all of COVID. So in the COVID, I was locked in an arm brace.
Okay.
So I was hard at work doing my rehab.
Yeah.
A lot of it at home.
Wait, this was your junior year in high school?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I got
Gotcha.
it, I'd say, pretty early.
Okay.
So I finished rehabbing that right when I got into school in the fall. So I was ready to go. I was doing, bullpens 100%. And then I got a blood clot.
Oh, wow.
In my right arm. So I practiced. My arm was blown up.
Whoa.
So that was caused by my first rib. So it's called thoracic outlet syndrome, TOS. So I got diagnosed with that, and I had to get my first rib removed. So all the way up here, right under your collarbone, I had to get that removed. It was pinching down on my vein. Yeah, so it was. I didn't know what it was. It was scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to. A lot of time in the hospital, but we got through it, and I'm here now, and I'm healthy. But again, the one thing that I would say, if you are battling injury, it's tough, and I know it's tough, and I know the people that everyone knows it's tough. They're never gonna give you, shit for struggling through it or not.
Right.
But you just open mind and just stay consistent with your rehab. I know at times it could get repetitive, but in the end, it'll all work out, and you're doing it for a reason. I love baseball.
Yeah.
I still love it.
Right.
And I wanted to play for as long as I can, and I made sure that I was very diligent with my rehab.
For sure, and it's not easy, especially when it happens in high school. Tommy John has become normalized in baseball, right? And I know you had it, and I feel horrible for everybody who has to have it. Everybody, I think, is trying to help and figure out why it keeps happening. I'm going to keep my opinions to myself on why I think it keeps happening. But you found good rehab, and obviously, we're here at Suarez. Like, we know how good these guys are with that. It's not necessarily just a plug for them. It's like, find someone who can give you good rehab, and like we talked about in the very beginning, reach out to people who have gone through the rehab, and make sure it's a good fit for you, because if you don't rehab it properly, then you're screwing yourself again and again and again.
Yeah, just getting farther and farther back. You're setting yourself back. Yeah.
My piece of advice from a strength coach, whatever that means anymore, if you're starting to get pain as a throwing athlete, please say something. Okay. Again, you're in the 7th inning of a high school game and you're doing everything and your arm's starting to kill you. Okay, we get it. You want to win a baseball game, but you got to be very careful. If you're getting pain for months, you got to say something so that maybe you can avoid it. Maybe you can start doing PT or find a strength coach who can help you. It's just, I'm going to leave it at that from the injury side.
You got to advocate for yourself. I mean, I know it's sometimes 100%. Hard. It's hard to, speak up, especially, high school athlete, your coaches. It's tough to speak up to your, it's tough to speak up. I had that issue, I'd have a little pain, and, I had that issue, and it's something that I regret, not being up, not advocating for myself.
You know what, though? I don't know if you should regret that. It's
a learning experience.
It's a very big learning experience. And now, I'll just speak, on Matt. I've only known him for, towards the end of your year when you were coming in here, but now work with him this whole summer. He's the first one here every single day, right? Just, you're attacking your arm care the same way he would attack stepping on the mound in a game. And it doesn't go unnoticed, but it's not by accident, right? You learn from, okay, I'm never going to let this happen again. And it just shows in your effort in here. So it's a learning experience, right? And you can help other people talk about it. And, younger players. I do want to get into kind of college a little bit. So we've touched a lot of different topics already. So can you just take us through your college career so far?
Yeah. So the TOS did happen my freshman year. So I
Okay.
went in excited, ready to play.
Yeah.
I got hurt, so I had to redshirt my freshman year. But I came back sophomore year, ready to go. I had rehabbed and I was good to go. And you kind of get I wouldn't you kind of get thrown right into it.
Yeah.
You're not used to a schedule like that.
Right. Right.
You have your classes, you have practice, you have lifts. Um, you definitely the one you have to learn time management. You
Yeah.
have to learn time management, and it takes a different amount of time for everyone, to get in the routine. Um, but it is a lot. I'm not gonna lie. You just have to get comfortable with it,
Yeah.
and sometimes it takes time. Sometimes people they get used to it right away. Um, but I'm at a point in my college career where I've found a good
Yeah.
routine. I'm comfortable with it, and I kind of enjoy it. I like to stay busy, especially at college. When you have a lot, not a lot as a an athlete, but you find yourself not very busy.
Right. Right.
Sitting around sometimes, um, but yeah, you just gotta manage your time.
So from your sophomore year till now, though, you've had pretty much no issues, or you've been good arm wise.
Yeah, no, arm wise, yeah, I've been good. There's been a few times where it gets tired here and there. Maybe an issue, or I have to take a week off or whatnot. But yeah, I mean, throwing a baseball is probably the worst thing for your body. It's not natural.
Well, that's the point. It's just not. It's not normal to throw 100 pitches as hard as you can, right?
Yeah.
We were meant to throw one rock when we were hunting as
Right.
hunters and gatherers. That's
Yeah.
what we were able to do. But
look where we've come.
we've come a long way.
We've come a
We're
long
good.
way.
Something I wanted to ask about. Okay, so you're going to your senior year. You've been there. This will be your 4th year there. How many people are remaining from the first year you were there?
I have 2 teammates.
2.
Two.
So
From,
you and 2 others
Me
equals
and
3.
Three people.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of people come in, a lot of people go out.
Can you just speak to that a little bit? Like, and I don't mean either negative or positive. What is going on? Because I guess all of a sudden maybe I just blacked out for a second and wasn't realizing this. Even I've been training college athletes my entire career. All of a sudden it's become like this, where everybody who comes on, there's 1 or 2, 3 people left, and they haven't played 4 years at one school.
Mm-hmm.
Can you speak to it?
It's the transfer portal has definitely evolved from what it was. I think a lot of people, it's tough, especially with the large roster.
Yeah.
Baseball, we carry 30, 36,
Right,
36 guys. So some people are leaving, just looking for an opportunity to get more playing time. Some are external reasons. Maybe they didn't like the school as much as they thought. Or they just, they want to bet on themselves. And I think, you should bet on yourself. Some people, they want to go to possibly, get a better opportunity somewhere else.
Right.
But yeah, there's a whole handful of reasons. And especially with,
what does it do for it for the team perspective though? Like, okay, right now you're a senior and a leader, right? It's like you got 3 people who have been there since the beginning. What's the team dynamics like? It's just, for me, it's like, I just never understood it, where it takes time to develop as a baseball player, and it takes cultures years to become a good culture.
Yeah.
What's it been like from the team aspect? Like, how do you stay as a team, and you're fighting for a goal to win, right?
Yeah.
Like, everybody's developing, but when you step on the field as a team, you're trying to win baseball games, and you're trying to win the conference, and you're trying to go to regionals. So can you just speak to the team aspect of it?
I think, yeah. So, with so many people leaving, going in for, the first couple of weeks during the fall, I enjoy it, because I meet all the new guys and stuff. But it's also a time, bond, get to know each other. So practices, they're I'd say a little like separated, just because you have the guys that are, that have been there, and the guys that are new. So, it takes some time to mesh. But, it is nice having the season in the spring, because you have the whole fall, to play a little bit, meet each other. but yeah, it's weird going into fall, having to meet so many
Right.
new people.
I put it to you this way. So at Shen, right? I'm assuming you played with the same guys for like 8 years, maybe more,
Yeah.
right? It's a friendship. It's it's a brotherhood. It's this willingness that you're going to sacrifice to win. And I don't know. Maybe it's not being missed. Maybe once you have that fall, you have a winter together, right? You have the camaraderie of playing a spring sport and the way the college year works. You have time to build it, and it's like, okay, we got to become a team really quickly.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just wondering, okay, so speaking on the times that you were at Shen, like by the time you were a senior, you guys have been locked in. Like you're in a flow state together as a unit. Whereas this year you got 10 guys you don't even know. What happens if this guy's a jerk? This guy's going to do his own thing. Oh, your shortstop isn't laying out for a ball that your other shortstop. All those things. I don't know. Have you seen that difference between all the years of playing with similar guys to that?
Yeah. So for high school ball, I'd say especially senior year, all the starters in high school, were the older guys.
Right.
The seniors who have been there, they're a little older, they have the experience. I mean, no, it's not the case for every position, of course. Other guys got opportunities.
Yeah.
But going into, college, you're going in, you don't really know what the lineup's like. You don't know, the left fielder might be a grad student, 22 years old, and you got your first baseman who's a freshman.
Yeah.
So you have guys with different experience. But I think that's the beauty in it. You
cool.
Get all the guys, give them opportunities. But they are there for a reason.
Yeah,
they're
for
there
sure.
for a reason. They're good ball players.
Yeah.
And I don't find a problem with it. I enjoy it. It is what it is. You just have to let it be, and you figure it out. That's part of the camaraderie, meshing together, just playing. That's why in the fall, we do the scrimmages. You get out there and you just get comfortable.
Right.
You get comfortable on the field and off the field.
Love that.
We spend a lot of time with your teammates. Those are your friends. When I went into school freshman year, I know for kids who aren't playing sports, it takes some time to maybe meet some new people.
Right.
And I went in and I had 7 close friends right
Love
away,
it.
and a lot of guys that I could lean on with questions. Older guys that I could lean on with questions, who have been there for a while. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, I mean this is technically a strength and conditioning podcast. So, can you just give us like when did you first start training in the weight room?
I first started training in 9th grade.
Okay.
You could decide between a regular PE class, or a weightlifting PE class.
Love it.
I chose the weightlifting.
Love it.
So I was in the weight room 9th grade, and then it just kind of took off from there. I enjoyed it. I love the weight room. I still do. I love coming in to work out. It's the first thing I do in the morning. So 10th grade all the way to senior year, they had a weightlifting PE class.
That's great.
I also did it for baseball. So, I would have, on and off days. I'd say I lifted around 3 times a week.
Nice.
3 times a week. So I didn't, overdo it at all. I've been in the weight room ever since. I love it.
When you started lifting, did you see a transfer to the baseball field? And if you did, how?
So when I started lifting, I was doing a lot of, weights. So I would, do squats, bench. That was the first thing that I did. No, I definitely saw a change. That right around that time is when I saw my velo.
Okay, so you felt as though the velo was affected by your training.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it was that at that point, that's I'm still growing. So it was kind of
probably a combo. It was probably a perfect storm in a sense where you're going through puberty, you're lifting weights, things are firing on all cylinders. But the reason I ask this is because I am a strength coach. I've been in all sectors. And what I'm watching from the baseball world specifically is people are like, oh, I do strength training. I'm like, cool. Is it transferring to your sport? And they're doing landmine press with a training bar, which is 15 pounds, not doing it correctly, right? And there's just no knock on any trainers, but there's no transfer. And people think that there is, and I'm like, no, utilize the weight room so it transfers. So it's great that you saw it, and sometimes at an early age, just the basics, just squatting will do it. But that's why I'm asking, because I'm watching a lot of kids who are like, yeah, I've been training for 3 years. I'm like, you can't squat the bar.
Yeah.
So you're not stronger. So that's not the reason it's transferring. I'm not going to go off on too much of a tangent. In college, what has the weight room done for you as an athlete?
We do tough lifts.
Yeah.
We do tough lifts. So the fall we lift 3 times a week, 3 to 4 times a week. We'll start at 3 and transfer to 4. Every guy in there is just as strong as you.
Right.
So
you're getting after it.
You got to work. It's kind of like a competition in the weight room, I'd say, especially, with our team. It's a healthy competition.
Right.
We try to outwork each other. That's the beauty of it. I love that atmosphere in the weight room. But no, it's good. I got a good strength coach there. So he's a good guy.
What's the transfer to the baseball field? Is it more so that the weight room is a place where you guys kind of get after it, compete in a different way, and that transfers to the field?
Yeah, no, it's a different mindset for sure. We got the racks, and you have your partners. It's usually 2 or 3 guys.
Love it.
But we're able to take that competitiveness and take it right onto the field.
Love that.
Like I said, though, it is healthy. We're still teammates.
Yeah.
So it's nothing that you want to cause problems with.
Yeah, and again, I ask it for so many reasons because I personally think strength and conditioning has gotten way out of hand, where we're doing a lot of things and not coaches are doing all these things in the weight room, and it's not helping the athlete. It's actually hurting them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my biggest concern. So at the college level, I think sometimes people don't understand, like, when you walk into that college weight room, it's serious. But all those guys, right, they've already come with a background like you have. You've been training since you've been a freshman. So your movement patterns are pretty good. You have some gym etiquette, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's different if you walked into that weight room and then walking into a high school weight room. If you're seeing the same atmosphere, that's when injuries happen. That's where no transfer is happening. And that's my big concern with strength and conditioning is we're forgetting my only job is to make sure you have a great experience when you're in these doors, and it's transferring onto the mound in some way, shape, or form, whether that's physically or mentally.
Absolutely.
Right? And I think that's what you're saying is like that the physical piece, you built it in high school. And then when you got to college, now you've built this physical foundation and you're able to attack the weight room with a different level of intensity. And that transfer to the field is more confidence, camaraderie. You know that we're weight room lifting partners. We got after it. Now I'm your second baseman. I'm making sure no ball gets through. So I think that's the different piece of it.
Yeah.
But it is a missing piece. And not everybody has a good strength program like you guys have at UAlbany, where I've been to colleges and I'm like, what's going on in here?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we thinking that this is just going to be some rah-rah session when that's not helping us on the field?
Yeah.
That's my quick rant. I'm not going to go off on a tangent. Okay, we're doing great on time, Maddie.
Love it.
Something that people don't understand about you that I just learned the other day is you're working a full-time job. You're here every single morning. He's here 6 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How are you doing it, and why are you doing it? Like, why do you have to work? How are you doing this schedule as a college athlete? You're going to your senior year. You could have easily taken the summer off, lifted, and like your buddy in there, just napped all day and ate steaks.
Yeah. I like to stay busy. I like to be in a routine. So I do the same thing every morning. Wake up, have my coffee, and I'm in here.
What kind of coffee?
I black.
Straight up black. Okay.
Black.
All right.
Yep. I put my creatine in the coffee.
Yeah.
Stir it up and drink. I'll do my
5
morning
grams,
walk.
baby.
Morning walk. That was my main goal this summer, was to get in a good routine. So that morning routine, my sleep schedule, I wake up the same time every day. But yeah, I love it. I love the grind.
Yeah.
I love it. So I'm in here. I'll go home, eat a quick lunch, and then I'm off to work.
Why are you working?
Well, I got to make money.
Okay.
And my parents have always.
Yeah, I understand that.
Always,
and I'm trying to pry it out of you because, I don't think everybody understands what it takes as a college kid who's you're going in your senior year. You've done this already. You're not off right now. You're working. You're working since the time you woke up. You woke up today, ready to go.
Yep.
Get ready for a podcast.
Yep.
Get ready for your lift, your arm carry you're going to throw today.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got to go eat. You got to go to work.
Yep.
Not everybody's doing that. You got kids probably on your team where they're just chilling all day long. Not that that's a bad thing, but you're setting yourself up for a routine, for habits, for the next level, whether that's professional baseball or it's becoming the best in your career that you can be.
Yeah.
You're setting yourself, you're already way ahead. And I like to highlight people like you who are, you could have easily said, no, I'm not going to work every day. No big deal. I'll go sell lemonade somewhere and make $5. But you're getting after it and you're way ahead. Okay. You have to give a piece of advice. And here's the audience for the first one. This is the future college baseball players. They're at the Gators right now. They're whatever. They're in their middle school to young high school age. What's one piece of advice you have for them to get to where you're at?
We said it earlier. I'm gonna say it again. Play as many sports as you can. I'm sure you've heard that, but I think it's so important because one, you wanna be comfortable with the team, especially team sport, basketball, baseball. But it's also just different atmospheres, different, the competitiveness, meeting new guys, and different body movements too. If you're just one sport at a young age, it gets repetitive. The body, it doesn't have that the movements of other sports to kind of alter the piece that you're just throwing a baseball. It's super
it's monotonous. It's the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah. And then another thing, what was I going to say? I was going to bring up two pieces. Come back to me. I'll get it. I'll get it.
This is a harder one, I think. So you have the parents of these kids. One piece of advice to those parents.
Make sure your kids don't look too into it. Don't let them get in their head. You still want them to have fun. That's the number one piece that I think. I still have fun with it no matter how old you are. You have to enjoy it. And it's tough once you get inside your head. You think about it a little too much. It could ruin the sport for a kid. But you want to make sure they're having fun, because that's the main point. That's what I think is so important.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's being lost at a really young age right now, where baseball is becoming a job at 7, 8 years old, and we're not, coaches and adults are not understanding that baseball is a game, and you grow up loving it. And when that piece starts to get broken, parents, you got to be there to help your kid get through that piece. Yeah. Okay, last two things. You got a rant and a rave. Could be about anything. Doesn't have to be about baseball, about strength and conditioning. What's one thing you're ranting at or ranting on right now?
One thing I'm ranting at. One thing I'm ranting at, I think Chipotle is getting too expensive. All right, I love Chipotle. That's my go-to meal at school.
Are you about to drop the hack right now on a podcast?
Do I drop it? All right, ready? All right, so I went to Chipotle on Tuesday. I saw this hack. You ask for a bowl, and you ask for a soft tortilla inside the bowl. So it's a taco. You're paying for a taco. You get double rice, double chicken. You get all your toppings in the bowl. And you're paying for only one taco. So I paid for like a full bowl. I paid $4 for it. $4. If they're watching this,
I don't think there's Chipotle owners watching this, but that might be the biggest takeaway from this whole podcast. Yeah. All right, let's finish with the rave. Last thing, other than raving about the fact that you've hacked Chipotle, give us one rave. Can be about anything. Doesn't have to be about baseball or strength.
Oh man. Rave.
What's something you're jacked up about?
I've been going to concerts recently.
Oh yeah,
and I've been loving concerts. That's my new rave.
He's got the in. How many concerts have you been to?
I've been 4 this summer.
Wow.
4 all at SPAC, and I've enjoyed them all, and they're great. And I never went before, but I'm a concert goer now. That's my rave. Yeah. Go to concerts. Go listen to some live music.
Do things outside of baseball is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Maddie, thanks so much for coming on. Appreciate you. Anybody who's in the area, Matt throws for you Albany. Get down there this season, watch him play. If you have questions for him, like he said, reach out. This is the I Know Nothing podcast. Thanks for watching.